For today, what we're going to talk about is a little bit of principle and a little bit of tactic so that you can put those principles into practice. Sounds kind of vague. No problem. We'll get specific with this one. If you're watching this video and you've also struggled with what should I be talking about, this exercise that I'm going to walk you through will help you work through that. What I like to say, it'll help you work through it actively. And what I mean by that is instead of prepping in private, or what I would like to say in isolation all the time without ever releasing any content or sharing any content, this will help you acknowledge that you're not going to solve or answer that question of what should I be talking about the first time you do this exercise. It's not a silver bullet. But over time, it's going to allow you to keep creating content and sharing content. And over time, you'll get better and better and better at knowing what that answer is for you. So how it works is, the principle is, if you're creating content and you're struggling with the question of what should I be talking about, there's a good chance you're struggling with the idea of what should I be talking about from a professional standpoint. You're creating content for your personal brand or for your business or even for a company that you work for. Right? That's another layer of it. That question of what should I be talking about professionally? And there's that question of, well, what should I be sharing or talking about personally? Now, the answer to this question, I do not know what it is for you, but by going through this exercise, you'll start to learn what that answer is for yourself. So the way I break down this principle, break it down into a tactic, is that for anything professional related, the prompt is talking about. For personal content, the prompt is thinking about. And the reason why I recommend doing this is professional content, you're talking about something that's in your domain of expertise, something that you feel you have a good length of experience on, or at least you can add value talking about that. The prompt is, what I'm going to talk about today is, insert what you're going to talk about. What I'm going to talk a little bit about today is the difference between X and Y, the difference between A and B, the relationship between C and D. There's so many ways to go with that. It's intentionally broad, but it's bifurcated where you're talking about something you feel confident about talking about. And then the other option that's more personal is something you're thinking about, right? You might be a business owner. You might be a founder and or a CEO. You might be an employee at a Fortune 500 company, a Fortune 100 company. You might be an employee at a small business. If you feel like, you know what, I don't really know what I should be talking about, you can do content where, hey, here's what I'm thinking about. Or, hey, here's what I've been thinking about lately. Here's what I've been thinking about. Like I said, here's what I've been thinking about as of late. Or here's how I used to think about X, but now I think about it in terms of Y. So you're able to a degree, have what are those thought experiments that are happening in your head, capture those. You can capture those. As you do some thinking about videos and talking about videos over time, you'll start to figure out which type of video you're more empowered by to do more of. At first, the talking about can be challenging because I don't know what to talk about. Even if you are an expert on something, or you're at least very qualified, maybe you don't see yourself an expert, but you know a lot about something, it can be hard to kind of own that value right away. So, okay, maybe those first few videos that you're thinking are going to be personal, it's just kind of a mental shift of, here's what I'm thinking about. And over time, maybe some of those early thinking about videos that you did, it's like, you know what, that's actually, I could talk about that. Okay, cool. Now, talking about, insert expertise, talking about, insert tactic, talking about, insert principle. Does that make sense? Now, I broke down a good amount in this video, but I hope that you were able to understand by way of bifurcating the answer to the question of, hey, what should I be talking about? Hey, I'm creating content, but what should I be talking about? Okay, one prompt is talking about, largely going to be something professionally related, something you feel like you have expertise on, that you know a lot about. Hey, here's what I'm thinking about. When it's something you're thinking about personally, something you're thinking about in terms of work, something you're thinking about in terms of your industry, it's going to allow you to not allow that feeling of, hey, I don't know enough about this to talk about it, but hey, here's what I'm thinking about. It sounds really subtle, but it's going to allow you to move into action and actually get something on the canvas that you can begin to work with. And then when you build it into your practice over time, you may not love doing content. My goal for you is that at some point you do. But over time, it's going to allow you to be like, hey, I like the topics and themes I'm talking about. I like the topics and themes that I'm thinking about. And then over time, you'll start to see where the talking about videos and the thinking about videos start to kind of weave in together. And that's where you'll ultimately find what is your voice. I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Randy Spillane, and I will be talking with you in the next one.